Hi, this is Deborah here, and we're going to run through Audacity as fast as we can to get you started on your podcast here. So I'm going to be working on the Mac here, but as a matter of fact, Audacity is Mac or PC, and it's free, and you can download this from the internet if you wanted to use your own computer. But Audacity is on all the Office PCs at least. And we do have some Macs available too. And I'm going to be using my Mac here to make this tutorial just because it has the screen capture device already on here. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is open Audacity. And I'm going to go down here to my dock and open Audacity. And this is just telling you that you can get help through these internet sites, but also you can use the help menu already built into the application to do that. So I'm just going to close that window out by pressing OK. And let's take a look at our blank interface here for a second before we go to step 2, which is going to be to save the project before we do a thing. Okay, so these are our tools that we're going to use 99% of the time. And this is our selection tool, a zoom tool, and what they call a time shift tool. And those are all 3 that you'll just be using, or probably these just 2, most 99% of the time. And over here we have copy and paste just for your information. And here's another zoom in and zoom out, but you can use this one too, probably faster. All right, so Audacity is based on project files and project folder. The file we're going to name right now, the folder works in the background to store all the project kind of little mini computer sentences that tell it how to work. And that's out of our control. And both of those must be present for your project to work. So first of all, let's go ahead and save it. And you won't have to create a new project each time, just this first time, just as in anything. So we're going to save project as, and it's telling you right here about the project file and folder thing. So we say, okay, just kind of breeze through that. And now let's name our project. So I'm going to call it the podcast first. How original, right? Here's our .aup. It's going in my external drive. And by the way, please don't save these on the share drive. We just don't have the room. So your only other 2 options are an external drive, which is what I highly recommend, which I'm using here, or the desktop of the local computer that you log into. And of course, what does that mean? You're going to have to use that each time. Okay. And it's dangerous to get that out of your control. Flash drives, you're going to have problems with, if you just insist, don't say you weren't warned. Okay, so I'm saving this to my external drive, and we're going to take a look here and see what it did in just a second. Save. All right, it's doing all its magic up there. Now we have our blank interface called Now Podcast First. So let's see what happened in my external drive. It's where we saved it, Mr. Eddie here. And now we see this was already there. But now we have our file.aup and our data folder, which contains really nothing that you can use at this point. It will be built up as we start building our podcast. So I'm going to close that out. I just wanted you to take a look. Okay, so we have it saved. Great. And this is the name. First thing we want to do, and you only have to do this part once as well. We're going to import our source file. Our source file is our interview track or audio that we're going to choose our clips. So we need to get that in here, and that's going to stay in throughout because that's where we choose the clips. Here we go, File, Import, Audio, or you can use Shift-Command-I. I'm big on shortcut, this audio file that we're going to use. And so World War II, here we go, choosing it and open, and now it's importing, and we're going to see a track, an audio track, build right before our eyes here as soon as it finishes importing. And there we have it. Let's expand this maybe a little bit. There we go. Okay, so it came in at like 23, maybe 23 and a half minutes, something like that. And the whole thing fits to the original window. I just expanded it a little bit. But there's no way we can possibly edit with it this compressed. So we're going to right away go up to our toolbar and use one of our tools. This is the zoom tool, this little magnifying glass here. And I'm going to click on that and we're going to zoom out. So I'm just going to do it until we can start seeing flat spots in between those kind of groupings of waveforms. And there we go. Now we can see them pretty well, and this is good. This is about right for editing, because where the flat spots are, no one's talking, and where you see these groups of peaks and valleys, why, that's audio. In this case, it's voice. So we don't want to cut in between there. It'll create a terrible jarring when you are playing that back. And of course, we want to get all these saves too, even if it's just a little sentence. So that's where we're going to make our beginning and end points. Okay, so let's go to probably our main tool here, which is our selection tool. And I'm going to put a click point in here at the place where no one's speaking. How do we know that? Because it's flat. So I'm going to any one of these I could do. How about this one? So I'm going to click here, and you see what happens. It creates a vertical line telling us that is where this audio track is going to begin playing. And how do we make it play? Simple. Use your space bar to start and stop. So I'm going to start it by pressing the space bar and just pressing it, not holding it down, just pressing it.
And find out if you could fly. And if you could fly, then you'd become an aviation cadet, naval aviation cadet, and go on to further training.
Okay, now I press the space bar again and it stopped it. But watch what happened. It automatically retracted right back to the original click point. So I'm going to do it again so you can see.
And find out if you could fly.
So there we go. We have that. That's just the way Audacity is built. By the way, if you click down here, anytime,
elimination class. The idea being that they would pay you a little and find out if you could fly.
Yeah, and that's where it's going to start playing back. And that's how you're going to tell where your audio begins, that you're going to choose to pluck out clips to make a new track. You're going to copy and paste them onto a new track. It's just really that simple. However, take a look at this audio. It all kind of looks alike. You don't know where to begin or end. So there's two ways to approach this. As you see, here's the times up here where things happen. In this case, it's something like 4 minutes and 58 seconds.
Would pay you as little as they could.
And so you would make a note I'll just get a notebook or something, or a Word doc, or however you want to do it. And just make, beginning at 4 minutes, 58 seconds. So that means you're going to have to listen to the whole thing, right, to tell at what point your audio that you want to use, or possibly even use, will come in.
And find out.
Right? There we go. So that's one way to do it. The second way is to create another track under here, a special track called a label track. So let's do that right now. Under Track, Add New, Label, right there. And it's a special little track. It says Label Track. And by the way, you can rename any of these just by using the drop-down little triangle there and name them. At this point, we're just going to leave it as the default. We may name our build track for to be our final broadcast name, but right now let's just leave it here. All right, so that's using the label track is very interesting, and we're going to do that in the very next section.